Hi, everybody. Um, the next objection is we want to wait until the spring. And this could be we want to wait until after Christmas. It comes in a variety of different versions and a variety of different times of the year. So the first question we're just going to use as an example, I want to wait until the spring. If I was talking to Tony, my mythical fictional character, I might say, Tony, help me understand what you were thinking about, because do you want to, this is important, do you want to sell your home in the spring, or do you want to put your home on the market in the spring? Typically they say, well, I just don't want to move in the winter, that kind of thing. And that's fine, that's not a problem. But it is kind of a problem, because if in a normal market, the average time on the market is 3 to 6 months. And obviously it's a little different at certain times in different types of markets. And as of the time of this taping right now, the average time on the market is probably less than 30 days. But the first thing you want to do is go through a lot of that with Tony. I might sit down with him and say, Tony, let's say we put your home on the market in November. The average time on the market is 30 days. If we get an accepted offer, loan processing time, any kind of complications with inspections, repairs, etc., we might take 60 to 90 days to get to the closing table easily, okay? Now, in addition to that, let's say we sell it right away, there's no inspection issues, and everybody's ready to close. We can incorporate into that agreement that if we have a quick closing, that you extend the possession time beyond the norm to 60 or 90 days. I don't want you moving out in a snowstorm, and I don't want you moving out over Christmas. I get all of that, but there are ways for us to take the amount of time that you have on the market and the time to the closing and to the time where you vacate the property and extend that out into something that actually works for you. But typically they want to move in the spring, they don't really want to sell. So to review, you want to talk a little bit about, this is the most important thing to remember about this objection. Help me understand what you're doing. Would you like to sell your home in the spring, or would you like to move in the spring? Typically they just don't want to move in the winter. So then you would talk about average time on the market, talk about inspection issues, complexities, etc. Then you would move into closing to be on or after a specific point, and then an extended possession period. I have never moved anybody out during Christmas week. I've never moved anybody out in a snowstorm. These are manageable issues and situations that you can help them through. The other thing is that this is not directly related to this objection, but I do want to tell you, if you can't get them to move on this, and they tell you, I want to sell in the spring and I want to put my house on the market in April, and you're talking to them in October and November, I learned this the hard way, so I'm trying to save you some heartburn and money and tell you, if they tell you April, don't believe them. Send them a thank you note now, and if I'm talking to Tony, I say, Tony, I would like to ask your permission to check in with you every 30 days, just see how things are going through the winter. See if you have any questions or concerns. See if I can answer any questions, address any concerns for you. See possibly if your timeline has moved away from that point. I can't tell you how many years I went through talking to people in April who told me they had their house on the market since February and said to me, I waited for you to call me, Dennis, and you never did. I couldn't remember your name or your phone number. So please stay in touch with these people. There's thousands of dollars involved in working with them. The best job in the real estate business is getting homes sold for sellers. It's the best dollar per hour bang for the buck. So stay on top of this. Follow up with them. They're not going to feel like you're bugging them, especially if you say, would it be okay if I check back with you every 30 days? Get the permission to do that. Write them a little thank you note. Thank you notes are real powerful. Thank you so much for taking the time to talk to me on the phone. I look forward to the possibility of helping you with your move. If you have any questions, my card's enclosed. And as we agreed, I'm going to check in with you periodically just to see how you're doing. Can't tell you how much I enjoy talking with you. Sincerely, thanks, Tony. And get that card and that handwritten note out right after you're done talking to them. Make sure they have it the next day. Make sure that card, a lot of the time I would walk in somebody's house, my card was on the refrigerator. Okay? So take the time to do this right. This is a listing lead. I don't know, I always thought for sure, I don't have the numbers, but I always thought for sure in this environment I was making $500 an hour. It's a lot of money, okay? So take the time to take care of Tony, to enter into his life in a meaningful way, and make sure that it's a positive influence for him.